Hey everyone, I'm Wa.
And I'm Chris, and welcome to DocuSweeties.
We are two longtime friends who discuss the riveting and sometimes trashy world of reality TV and docuseries.
Yes, but through our own lens, honey, which can be peppered with the saltiness of the day or the creaminess of the night. Ew. But at the end of the day, hopefully something mildly sweet. Hi! Woo, honey, got sexual fast. Talking about Love After Lockup, Season 5, Episode 11, The Reckoning.
I really liked that intro. I really liked that, Chris. That was a good one.
That's the first time in the 400 episodes that we've done this that you've liked what I've said.
Yeah. So there's that.
I found it. Finally found it. It's like Einstein. How long did it take to make something? I don't know.
I mean, you're not going to keep it, but I'm just letting you know. I liked it. Okay. And this episode, I didn't like it. It was a bad season finale. And did you notice how they had Renika doing the this is episode 11 of Love After Lockup? Did you notice it was her? And I was like, girl, where have you been? And also, thank you for not being here. But also, why are you doing the voiceover?
They know what they did. They liked her. They know what happened to Asante. They know what they did, La Citrus. So this was also confusing to me because as a watcher, I would put on my cable TV because I'm 400 years old and I still have it. And on my DVR listed this episode as episode 11. Having aired on the Friday, November, whatever it is, this 24th. And yet there was another episode labeled episode 12 also on my DVR. And I looked at it and I got scared. So I didn't press play. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
You got scared. Let's talk about that.
No, I don't want to.
Saw an episode.
I just want to let me pretend I didn't say it.
DVR and it scared you.
Well, what's happening there? There's an episode 12 is what I'm saying, Wa.
There's not an episode 12.
What is that thing on my DVR, Wa?
I don't know. Maybe there is, and you didn't watch it, and so now we have a half-ass episode. I told you to just check it out and see what it was. You were supposed to do that. That was your homework.
I had other things to do, like order Postmates and some laundry. I also had to wash my luggage.
Your luggage? Chris.
My luggage. I bought some luggage and it got dirty and I had to wash it because it's it doesn't look good if it's just not washed. So
is it white or cream?
Yeah, obviously I made a mistake. Okay, so let's talk about Joy and Red. And also for the fans, I had sent the Reality Sweeties, which is the group text that we're, the Reality Gaze and we are on. And there is a very fun Reddit picture of two Cabbage Patch Kids that are just perfectly Red and Joy Nomi. Did you like it?
Oh, I thought that was you and me.
I'll kill you, Wa. What? You did not. You did not. You didn't. You did not. No, you didn't, Wa.
Patreon, look at this. Jean Marie, cut this out because those of them who are not on Patreon won't understand what's happening. Are you trying to download it, girl? It's too late. Don't show that picture. If you don't have it downloaded already, your thing is gonna get all fuzzy. We're not gonna be able to hear you for 10 minutes.
God, you really know how to ruin someone's life,
Cut this out, Jean Marie. Cut this whole thing out.
No, just there it is. Okay, so there is
this. You and me.
I don't look like that, nor do you, Wa. You don't look like that. You've never looked like that.
Okay,
that
now I got
little boy.
Okay, go ahead and explain it. Now
I don't have long, dark, curly hair like that.
You did at some point when I met you. You were a brunette.
You thought this was.
Now you're this fake blonde.
I cannot believe that.
When I met you, you were a brunette, and I have pictures. I remember. I tell our origin story like it was a love story, and I feel like you never tell the story.
First of all, I love the story. Second thing is, I was just thinking about how you want to call me out of what you've known me as, and I'm in the knee deep of Gilded Age, and there's like someone on Gilded Age. This is like such a great part that used to be someone's lady maid, but now she fucked someone old guy, and now she's like married to him, and now she's like in the highest of society. And the woman that she used to serve is like sitting on the secret that this bitch used to like be her lady in waiting. It's so good.
Oh, is it the lady who is the mother in The Grinch? The Whoville mother in Grinch? Or she was also in
Yes.
the Chicago movie version, and she was like the reporter
Movie version. Yeah, Chicago movie. Yeah, I think that that is her.
with
She's
Richard Gere and Bridget Jones' Diary, Renee Zellweger. She was also in that. Is that her? You know what I'm talking about. I don't know her name. She also is. She's a character actor. She also has her own show on
which
on
one? The
network.
one that is the lowly one that fucked her way to the top, or
No, the older one who is holding.
That's Christine Baranski. So now I understand.
Yeah, Christine Baranski. Is
So,
that
yes.
Corinne Baranski's?
No.
No. Okay.
So
Who's lady?
It's the new money. So of
Okay.
Gilded Age, there is old money
New
versus
money.
new.
Astor.
Yes, which is so funny
Okay.
because this girl is even newer money. So the
That
newer
is
money.
crazy. There's
Oh,
a
I
newer
love it.
money than Astor. You know, I lived in New York, so I feel really like when I watch it, I'm like, I don't even know the old
Are you
money.
watching this season?
I'm not watching this season. I watched half of last season.
Okay, well let's go from one high society show to another.
I need
One
you to watch Downton Abbey.
One rich, like society, group of people to, I mean, quite another. I don't know what to tell you. This Love After Lockup is like truly going down in flames for me. Like half of it is so fake, and then the other half of it's so trashy. But let's talk about it. Joy and Red. So, Red was really happy to get it on with that like crazy girl that he was like friends with for like 10 years off and on, who's also been waiting to like F him, even though whatever. And she's been giving him money. And I kept calling her like anime, but when we saw her in real life, she looked very different than the pictures and what I even saw in the FaceTime. But they were hot and heavy in the car when Joy was like calling them, and they went to the hotel. And then this is embarrassing. Which is that Red is like, it wasn't even that good, man. Now, I don't know if Red is trying to say that because he instantaneously feels, for some reason, guilty, even though he did it, but feels guilty horribly in the next moment of like.
I mean, he says the punani was rotten. He's like, it wasn't even worth it.
What is that? And he's like, I love having sex with Joy. Like, it was so, like, and here's the thing. I think that sometimes when men do shit like that, it's because they are doing the thing that like Patrick did with Thais, where they're like, oh, no one knows, like no one knows how to please me, and no one is hot except for you, like putting other people down. Like I thought that maybe it was sort of that thing,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's like,
but she was not even there. He's telling the producers. So I'm like, ooh, it was.
But she's gonna
whack.
watch it. Like she knows that Joy's gonna watch it. But I mean, he also did it knowing that Joy is gonna watch it.
You're right. But I mean, I'm proud of her. But then I'm proud of her for sticking to her guns and driving 5 hours away. But also, like, I was like, go back and get him. He can't stay in Missouri. Go back and get him. Like, you fucked 3 different men and you don't even know who the baby daddy is. Go back and get him. Go back and get him.
It's funny that she doesn't, though, because then I was like, I want to see like Paris. I want to see his mom be like, oh, really? Look who's back. What, you think you're gonna get some free Domino's pizza because because Joy decided to dish you? You think you're gonna get 3 easy pieces and a paper plate, honey?
And get him. Go back and get him.
Joy is like, I understand. Joy has done the worst thing possible, which is make her son believe that this man is his father. And now Red is using that to be like, what about, like, swear we're going to be able to, like, raise them together, and she's like, I don't know what to do because he is like the father. Like, she now has tied Red into being the father of her child, and therefore some sort of hope or beacon for a normal life, even though she hates herself and therefore will put up with bad behavior and horrible treatment from men for the rest of her life until she loves herself. And Reds is just on national television going to like blatantly hook up with some ugly woman. I
But
mean,
he's
not
been in prison for 10
I
years.
shouldn't say the woman's ugly,
She is.
but everyone is
You
in their
shouldn't say
subjective.
it.
This woman, just I'll be honest. It's not that she's ugly. It's just that she looks unhealthy. That's what it is. She doesn't look
Okay.
healthy. Now, Joy also doesn't look healthy. So no one really looks healthy. No one's a healthy looker here. Okay. No one looks healthy in their own ways. So no one's looking healthy. And I wish everyone looked a little healthier. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yes, whatever.
So basically,
Yeah.
he just keeps calling her, is begging her, and she's like, no, and she plays like the voicemail. Do you want to do your little Joy listening to her voicemail
It's
moment?
so frustrating that Red keeps calling me. I'm already 5 hours away. And I feel so bad because he keeps calling me. And she's being strong. If it were me, I would have gone and got him. Because she's like, I grew up with like tumultuous like family and I don't want to be yelling and I don't want somebody who's going to do this to me. And he's begging her to come and get him. He
She
doesn't want to be.
knows. She knows he was with another woman. I think that one thing, I feel like producers let her know, or she heard or found out, and that's something that she's not saying.
Oh. Okay.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's a good take because she's like, if you're just going to abandon me and you're not going to communicate with me, you're just going to leave. Because she's really hurt. She real hurt. And, he was in prison and he did a lot of things to get his sentence extended that she didn't appreciate. So she had a wild bender and then got her baby, which I can't fault her here because, I'm here childless. So I'll never fault a woman for doing what she has to do and being happy for her baby, but go back and get that man. That's the way I feel. Go back and get that man. So she's just going to end up having to spend money to send him to, get him to fly. So that's my thought too. It's cheaper, especially if she's going to drive by herself, it's cheaper for her to just take him with her than to send money for him to fly to her or like figure out how he's going to drive to her later on. So
Can't he take a train, a bus, trains and buses?
I'm gonna be
Missouri
honest.
to
I
New
live
Mexico?
in the Midwest. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be real honest. I live in the Midwest. I don't really understand them. I don't really understand it. I don't really understand like where New Mexico is and where Missouri is and how to get there.
Okay.
But he probably could take an Amtrak because I think people do take trains in other parts of the country readily.
Do you
He
remember what
could get on
city?
a Greyhound.
Missouri?
Nope. Going to no, that's Kansas City. Is Kansas City, Missouri? Yeah, going to Kansas City. Kansas City, here I come.
My God. Okay, so by
they-
car it's 12 hours.
So by plane, by
It
train,
won't
that
even
means it's
say.
double.
It won't
Not
even
double,
tell
but-
me a bus.
Kansas City, here I come. I'm going to Kansas City.
Oh my God. Okay. Anyway, let's continue because we can't.
Let's continue. All right, so let's move on to Key Rock and Brittany. It's literally the tail end of the same argument they had the time before.
Mm.
So she leaves because she's frustrated that he doesn't want to have a family. And I guess for her, that means that he doesn't want to be married. So he comes downstairs and they're sitting on the back porch. And he's like, can we stop talking about this? Because I really feel like you're jumping the gun. And she's like, well, do you still want to get married? And he's like, yes. And she's like, but I want to have a family. And he's like, cool. But you're going to have to settle with, I don't know if I want to have kids. And she's like, but I want to have them. And we're not a normal couple. We have to do other things. And he's like, we are a normal couple. And I think he's right because normal couples still have to do IVF. Normal, and I'm putting air quotes for those of you who are just listening audio and not joining us on patreon.com/DocuSweeties for $10 a month. Normal couples still have to do a bunch of different things. Normal couples have to adopt. Normal couples have to do whatever, right? So like, sometimes folks don't want to have kids, especially if those folks who have to have kids have to go off of their hormones, have to do things that take their body into places they don't want to go. And so Brittany is asking Key Rock to make choices at uh, at an early age when they have at least 10 years, 10 years, 10 full solid years to make any choices. So I mean, just allow Key Rock that time. And I think Key Rock has plenty of male people in his family to provide sperm for such things if necessary.
I feel like he's like, bitch, you quit beauty school because you had too much pressure. Can you stop putting pressure on me? Because I just got out of prison.
Mm-hmm.
Literally just got out of prison. So can you fucking lay off while I get my
Mm-hmm.
life together and stop hounding me about getting off my hormones, about getting my eggs out, about having a baby, about getting married to you, about like I'm just if you literally just took something off your plate huge, the your education, your future way to make money for no reason, and you made me say yes because of using God. So I don't understand why Key Rock isn't like, hey, you know what God's telling me? To take some time and be patient and learn what I want and get through this phase first,
Mm-hmm.
bitch.
Yeah.
Like, like you have your thing you're doing, like I'm struggling spiritually, whatever you have to say. Like, I can't just like suddenly jump into this like father husband role. You want me to be like a 45-year-old, like running around with Louis Vuitton shoes and driving Benzes and like picking up our 4 kids from private school, bitch? Like, what are you talking about? Like, let me get like a breath or two. I think it's like I also feel like I don't like when anyone puts pressure on people that are coming out of prison because they shouldn't be in relationships pretty much anyway. They should be like doing, their best to get on their feet and like assemble back into a life that works for them. And that's already hard when you haven't been in prison. So like I just like I get mad when people put a lot of pressure on people right out of prison to like be someone for them when it's like that's so selfish. Give them a fucking moan.
If you wanna be somebody, if you wanna go somewhere, then you better wake up and pay attention. Speaking of putting pressure on people, let's talk about Melissa and Louis. So we find out in this episode that Melissa doesn't find or feel that Louis is doing things that he should be doing. And Louis, and I love this for him, feels like he has done a lot of things and he has done things that he should be doing. And he's really proud of himself. And listen, as long as Louis is proud of himself, I'm happy for him. So we start off with Louis getting the waters back in the doctor's office. So now they can do the dental surgery. So they snatch all 4.5 of his teeth. And we've got Minnie Mouse Top Bun back.
Yeah,
And
she's the one behind there, like turning off the water, like, got it, producers. Tee hee hee. Like she's so crazy, this Michelle. Anyway, yeah, go ahead.
So they numb his whole mouth, snatch out his teeth, and I don't know
Snatch
what
out.
snatch them out. I mean, just very
Snatch
easily.
out.
They're loose. They're loosey goosey. The meth has just gotten to the roots in
Jesus
his
Christ.
mouth and just loosened them up. And so then they put
Loosened
in.
up my teeth, babe. Uh-huh. Remember that song from
Mhm.
it was,
Yes,
yeah.
what I remember vividly
Okay.
is you and your crazy UCB friends
You're right.
making some parody song that I
Butthole.
just thought was so disgusting, and I was
Okay.
just like, "How is this funny? It's not funny."
Okay.
Uh,
It's rude. It's still on the YouTube video still exists. Okay.
oh, I'm gonna find it right now. Go ahead.
So anyway, out of the surgery, he's feeling a little diff. He's feeling a little like these teeth are foreign, and that's
Made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. One of these days, these teeth are gonna walk all over you. Or
boom, boom,
maybe
boom,
these
boom,
teeth
boom,
are
boom.
made for chomping, and that's just what they'll do.
Mm-mm.
These one of these days, these teeth are gonna chomp on you.
Yeah, 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 yeah. But he has the eternal charming demeanor of a, a Casanova, if you will. Um, because he gets Michelle's number. He like goes up with that bunch of teeth in his mouth that make no sense to him, like, gum, just like tic tac gums, like orbit gum. Just he secures the date, but then God bless, later on, he calls Melissa and Melissa gets to see these chompers, and they are, I of course a picture of them, I'm putting them on Patreon. They are remarkable. Now I'm gonna tell you this right now. That's what happens to everyone. Everyone gets a set of like one size fits all, and they're never gonna fit one person. Horrible immediate dentures to wear, and then they get their forever mouth later on. And I have seen, yeah. How many views does it have? Not bad.
22K 15 years ago.
Oh,
It's been on YouTube for 15 years. It has that's bad for 20.
you're not wrong. Go to Michelle, you know, if you go to the account, and I think
Okay.
other videos are better or higher viewed.
Chris, you look good though. Hold on, let me watch it.
So anyway, basically, Melissa's like, oh, I do like them, and he's just like kind of embarrassed, and you know, I do get that, but yeah, the teeth are always going to be bad. It's such a thing. Like it's never going to be good. It's kind of like a thing that happens. Like if you get your wisdom teeth, you're going to have to like come out and be like loosey goosey. If you get dentures made like that, your immediate dentures are going to be just really, really bad. You know, they're not good looking things. So, he starts to have these one-liners, like on the phone with Melissa. He's like, Melissa, I just don't understand. It's like, with me, you're like a movie. And she's like, what do you mean? What do you mean like a movie? He's like, it's just like when you want, you put me on pause. And I'm like, God, this does feel so scripted. I mean, like this, she does feel like she's absolutely out of it. But yes, Wa is living her life, watching me in a YouTube video 15 years ago. And listen, I'm happy that she's happy. And that's true friendship. Okay? Even if she's making fun of me, truly. Uh 15 years ago I did a parody of the Pussycat Dolls Loosen Up Your Buttons, if you want to look it up on YouTube, and God bless. Now we know it could probably use the views of Loosen Up Your Butthole. And that's all I'll say.
It's not easy to find. You have to put in it's because
it's not easy to find.
It's mainly a parody of the music video. It's not a parody of the song. So it's the same song, except for they dub over the. It's the same song. They just dub over that one line. Loosen up my boy. Like it just like.
It is dumb now. Why we should have made different lyrics. Is what
yeah,
you should have made. Jeez.
Different lyrics.
Okay, well, I'm gonna.
But really, it's about the like dancing. And Chris is the tallest one there, and she looks great, and she's really into it. She's the only person that like clearly understands her body and the upper movement of like this upper movement. If you're on Patreon, the other ones are like. And Chris is the only one that's like fluid.
To my benefit, I will say that we all have natural movements within our body, and I very much can do like chest undulations and hip stuff. Now, what I cannot do at all is any sort of twerking one bit. Like I can't twerk. And I also, I'm not like really good at the like undulations of like stomach undulations, but yeah, no, I've always been able to like.
Yeah. So she's
like, I've always been a
she's like, loosen up my, and everyone's else like,
no, the Britney and me, you know, like
the Britney.
I watched a lot of Britney.
My memoir, The Britney and Me.
Anyway, why don't
I wish your memoir, The Britney and Me.
About Britney.
Yeah.
And me.
Yeah, about your journey through your time with loving Britney through the early aughts and late 90s.
Wait, let me bring you back to this asking you, did you like the part when Louis said, Melissa, you put me on pause like a movie?
Yeah. I mean, literally, I think this argument was really good. She's terrible at it, but he's better. He's better at the drama than her and Donna. He's really good at making it seem at least kind of real. Even when he's like, I'll feel a lot better if you give me your number, Michelle. And Michelle's like, I'll think about it. And he's like, cool. Yeah, slide me them digits, babe. And she gives him her number. And I want him, based on this, I want him to find greener pastures in Georgia with his new teeth, but I feel like she deserves a little something after dropping $5,000 on his new teeth.
He needs to pay her back for these teeth. Period. The end.
Yes.
And she has to go on her way with her Amy Winehouse sister to do whatever
Yes,
they
she
want
does,
to
but
see.
this is foolish. She should not have paid for his teeth.
I agree. But she
Yeah,
did.
so
But
like
she did.
the needs to pay him back, that was a foolish move. You don't pay for people's things if you cannot. You don't pay for anyone's anything if you cannot, if you not cannot. It's not about affording it. It's more so about you have to be willing to take the L. Don't pay for people's shit if you're going to want it back. It's like, what's her face? Danielle and Johan.
Well,
It's
yeah.
like that. Like, I don't care that you bought this thing with one intention, whatever. Do not give something to someone and then asks for backsies. Be like, oh, now you should pay me back for that.
I
No.
agree. I agree.
No. So, she gets took. Okay. Let's move it on. Moving on. Okay. So we've got
Sheree and
Candy.
Anthony. Can we get them out of the way?
Yeah, that mama, she's crazy looking every time. Just mustache, just like skin, just like she's an example of that black does crack. You know what I'm saying? And like cigarettes were involved. Cigarettes and like drinking and maybe crack itself was involved. Something this mother, things happened to her. She's the worst looking older black lady I've ever seen. Listen, I'm gonna say it. Black, she has cracketh.
Yeah. I mean, black don't crack unless crack is the cracker. That doesn't sound right either, but like
I mean, it is what it is. She looked crazy. She looked like she'd been through it. She looked like she had a hard ass life. And so like when she's like, yeah, my son gotta just live, domestic violence. And all I kept thinking was like, hey, if it looks like and it sounds like and it feels like her teeth are not her own, 1, 2, is that she is so understanding of the situation because something in his upbringing lent her to be and understand that is something that like she is the reason why this happened. And also, like, let me tell you guys, here's what happened. So we come upon her and she's somber and she's packing a box or something. And she's telling the cameras in an odd way of telling a story that her and Anthony got into an argument because she didn't trust him and she went through his phone. And so he tried to snatch his phone back from her, but he didn't realize how strong she was. Which is like such a weird way of putting that. Such a weird way of saying that he couldn't get the phone back or something.
That she put up a fight.
Yeah.
Which, like he grabbed the phone and he thought she'd just be whatever, like docile. But he grabbed his phone back?
Yeah.
And then she what? Then try to fight for his phone back?
Yeah, like she's like, he didn't realize how strong I was, which is a weird way of saying that
it was a weird fought him.
Yeah.
Because I think what it is like he bites her
in the back,
which is horrible. But what she's not saying, I think, is that there was domestic. She'd like also.
Yes,
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying is that she tries to make it seem another way because nobody speaks like that. She's never spoken so roundabout, and this is her HR brain speaking. He didn't realize that I was as strong as I was. Because the truth is that if you take somebody's property and then are refusing to give it back from them, and then they go to take it from you, and then your response is they didn't realize how strong I was. Like, no, bitch. You should have given him back his fucking phone. He went to get his phone back from you, and you didn't fucking give it back to him.
Right.
And so he tried to snatch it out of your hand, and you're like, he didn't realize how strong I was? No, bitch, give him his fucking shit. Like, that's where the problem is. And so he bit your back, and so you screamed, And then the police were called. But then you're trying to say, like, I didn't want to press no charges because I didn't want him to go back to prison or whatever. But I'm like, if you didn't want him to go back into prison, then you would have fucking given him back his fucking phone. And you would have just broken up with him and went about your business. But you didn't do what was right. So you're trying to backpedal out of it and make it seem like you didn't really do anything. And that it was your right to somehow be a strong woman and not take the phone back. Like, you try to make it seem like it wasn't your fault, but it was, because you just didn't give him back his property. So
You're right. Also, because the highest power you could have in that moment, if this is you, and if you are Sheree, look, if you're getting cheated on, you found something on the phone, and then someone's being shitty with you and not showing you or trying to meet the.
Chris is frozen, y'all. Okay, we'll wait for her to come back. Jean Marie, can you cut this out? So anyways, so it's just really weird that this is how it happened. And so his mother comes to the house and is like, oh, he shouldn't have reacted that way. He needs to learn to calm down. Whoop-de-whoop, X, Y, and Z. And the mother's completely on her side. And I'm not saying the mother shouldn't be, and I'm not saying that it's okay to hear him to bite her back. But I'm just saying that if she's the sober one, or she's the one that is supposed to be guiding him correctly, then there were mistakes made on her part that she could have did to avoid the situation. And they were tussling over this phone. That's the way it feels. And the mother coming over being like, oh, my son should have not done that, and you did the right thing. And she's like, I'm lucky my son wasn't here to witness all of this. That's all correct. That's all very correct, and that's all very true. So I'm happy that it didn't end up bad, but as we said in previous episodes, we know that Anthony's back in prison. So it's definitely true that the docile person that we see is not the person that Anthony is in real life. Not real life, but it's not the other. That is just one side of who Anthony is. Anthony has some deep-rooted anger issues. He got some issues going on that has landed him in the situations that he finds himself in. So, it is what it is. So, you want to finish your thought about what you were saying about them? I'm done.
I'm so sorry.
All right, let's move on to Handy and Brittany.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was supposed to say. If you are in a situation where someone has cheated on you and they are not trying to make it better, and you found that out, there is no good confronting them and then having them fight with you over it. That means you want something from them, and you usually want them to somehow make it better so you can move on from that. And that means that you want to stay anyway, then just stay and don't fight. But if you want your point to be you will not be cheated on, then you remove yourself from the situation and you don't allow it to escalate. And you don't have someone's phone and have possession so you have more of them in your life. You tell them by your behavior how wrong it is. So anyway, that's all I want to say. Thank you.
Yours had your Miss America speech. We should talk about Handy and Brittany. Now, for some reason, I didn't get the tail end of what the baby mama or the ex-wife said about Handy. But okay, let's back up. So we have Handy and Brittany. Handy's son, Barry, in this scene, I mean, it's like the first scene that we saw him in, I don't know if his hair was dyed and it was cut and it was done. But in this one, he looked like he'd been through it. I don't know if graduation did a whirlwind on him, but it's been 3 months or so since they've seen each other, or 2 months since the last time we saw them. He's like, last time I thought about gone fishing, I was with that crazy person who was trying to take me for all my money and stuff like that. And so he was with his daughters, his daughter and his son look just like him. I mean, I could see traces of Handy's face in both of them. Right?
Yeah, no, totally. But wait, that's not the first scene. The first scene's Brittany's first scene.
Oh, Brittany's the first scene? Okay, well, Brittany goes to meet her bestie.
Well,
And
sorry, Brittany. Just so this is what I think is remarkable. So the first thing we see is Brittany, and she's like, "Look, it's been 3 months since I saw Handy, and I went immediately home, and I fucking got high. I got high for a week. No, in fact, 8 to 10 days is what she says. Like, so I'm sorry. That's why I was like waiting for you to say. Like, the first thing we find out is
oh, I didn't
Brittany.
know she had got high. I thought she was depressed. I don't
No,
know why I
babe.
missed that. I thought
She
she was
went.
depressed for that time, like in her room, just like hiding out.
No, that's why I was like waiting for you to say, like, no, the biggest thing that we find out of this whole thing is that Brittany, and by the way, it's not a big shock because as even Handy said, her behavior was addicty and was like she was trying to run away. And as much as like he's horrible, it was obvious that she's a user addict, and she is to this moment that we see her, and she was the moment she came out of prison. And the reason why I say that is everything is always someone else's responsibility, and if something didn't happen, that she was always the straight arrow that just keeps getting like distracted by things, but at the same time there's like no responsibility for her to like do right. The only thing that she remotely says that can even be true is that she can say that it's asinine for her to now say that her kids are her priority, because it's obvious, because she got out of prison the way she did, which is again not go to a halfway house, not go to a situation where she was set up to win, like not go to a thing that maybe wasn't as great or whatever, or state run or whatever. Instead, she tried to manipulate some sad man to give her money, which is what he did. And then she got the money, got mad at him, and was like, what a fucking asshole, runs back to her mom's house with $1,000 or whatever. $1,000, I guess is how you say that. $1,000. I know math. I hate you all. I love you so much.
It's like 1,000.
Whatever.
What is
Gets
that?
high. No. Gets high. I mean, whatever. That's all she could afford, she said. So, like, I mean, I don't know how much money she spent. Was it all on drugs? Like, that's what Andy did. He's just bought her all those drugs, like being a dumb beta male. But anyway, so then we also find out that they have been talking back and forth. He's like there's like been posts on Facebook, they've been texting or whatever. So then yes, we see her go and meet her best friend, and she says the first thing about her best friend is, this is my best friend, we used to always like do drugs together, we've even been in prison together, and now we're sober together. And it's like, you barely sober, and you're so barely sober that I don't even trust you around anyone that you was like in your old company. And then her friend is like, what fucking made you use again? Her friend calls her out again for like, I mean, having said this, I want to have compassion for people that are addicts. This is a hard situation to watch, but with her, she's not even a moment in recovery. I could tell that from the mentality that she's had this entire time, which is, again, like I said, a victimhood. And I don't feel like she even truly understands the direness of her personality, and like the way that she's not a real person. She seems so silly, like I don't think that she has what it takes to like honestly do it in this world. I feel bad, but like she's not there. She's not, and I mean to say, I don't even see her wanting to be there. I think that she lives in some sort of delusional land where it's like, who's that horrible I feel bad for him person from like Punked that's almost dead?
Oh, I don't know. I never watched any of that.
Oh, either do I, but
Oh wait, don't Punked. Isn't that? Do you mean
Bam.
Jackass? You mean Jackass?
Uh-huh. I did
Yeah.
mean Jackass. Thank you for knowing
I was
that.
like, Punk
Thank
is
you for knowing that.
Ashton Kutcher.
You're absolutely right. And I meant Bam. That Bam Majara person or whatever. It's
Yeah,
like, I don't
I
know. It's
think
just
that I think that, rock bottom to me, and I don't know if this is true, I'm super ignorant. But she'll never be homeless. She'll never not have a place to lay her head. And so sometimes people need that, you know? And even
if
then, sometimes that doesn't help people.
if her
Like sometimes
mom's was an option, why wasn't her mom? I wonder, why did her mom's become an option after she left Andy?
I think because she didn't want to have someone who judged her. And Andy didn't judge her. But Andy wanted that poo nanny. Andy wanted her to be immediately like, Andy wanted to control her, and she didn't want to be controlled. So then she would have had to have that flapjack belly. Anyways, I like a flapjack belly. So I didn't hear that. I thought she said she was in her room depressed for 10 days. She didn't even come out of her room. I said she's been in a cocoon for 10 days. You saw me write that. That's what I wrote.
I just was like, that's a way of saying it.
No. That's what I thought. Been in a cocoon for 10 days. Hasn't put kids first.
Sounds good.
Meets with bestie. But what did the baby mom, what did Handy's baby mama say? Or
I
ex-wife
didn't see
say?
that part. That's why I'm like, I just saw him fishing, but it was just basically him and all the kids talking shit about like,
Shit.
well, I was right. I know you
Yeah.
were right. Well, she,
And Barry
yeah.
looks terrible. No, but she and her bestie went shopping, and she was like, yeah, his ex-wife reached out to me on Facebook. Look at this.
Oh
Maybe
yeah.
that was in Peel the Onion or whatever. You didn't
No, you're
watch.
right. That did happen. It's a Facebook post. I know. For some
Oh,
reason, I don't quite understand what she said.
okay. I don't remember either. Anything else about them?
No, did we talk about Chelsea and Mikey?
No.
Okay. Do we have to, is that the last people we're talking about?
Yeah.
Great.
Okay. Chelsea and Mikey. Who are still together. They love being on TikTok Live, girl. And Chelsea, I mean, something. Okay, listen.
What?
I am not the kind of person who just goes through hairstyles like you know, people go through clothing, but Chelsea is one of those people. Every time we see her, she has a different hairstyle. And I don't know how it hasn't fallen out at this point. Like, how is it possible? Is she just doing tints? Is she not bleaching it? Because now it's blonde. And she's just on live with somebody who's claiming to be her best friend who isn't Beth. And they're in the same room, her and Mikey, both on their separate lives, looking in each other's lives, just having a good old time making money. Angela Deem and Michael, they're in live too. I mean, the people are just making money on TikTok left and right. Anyways, so
I know. Kimberly, I know they're all on live.
Yeah,
I want
Mikey drives.
chicken.
Sorry, fried chicken. What?
Yeah, I want fried chicken.
Oh, from where? Churches?
Popeyes.
Oh.
But I haven't had Churches in a minute. I just read somewhere that people said that Churches is supposed to be, some parts of Churches is better than Popeyes. Some people think like the biscuits of Churches or something like.
Churches is so greasy. The reason why we go to Churches is because they would have stupid deals. It would be like $2.99 with a coupon. A $2.99 for like a thigh and a leg. I don't really know what those pieces are, but they're dark meat. 2 pieces of dark meat and a biscuit. I mean, you can't beat that.
I love Popeyes. You know, I think that Popeyes is like so superior, you know.
I know you do. $2.99? That's car change.
You're not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Chelsea's excited to have Mikey meet all of the fam.
Yeah.
All the kids.
Yep. And it's really some sad information. He drives there, and we find out that the kids have been yelled at by her partners in the past, and so they're really trepidate like, and I'm like, that makes me go, oh, Chelsea, you're a bad mother. Like, and I to this point have never thought of her as being a bad parent, but I'm like, oh, you have not made good choices for your kids. You have brought people around. Like, this whole entire time I felt sorry for her and have been like, oh my God, she's been in terrible situations, like la 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 la. And I knew she had kids, but like I never really put 2 and 2 together. And now I realize that she has brought unto like terrible people around her children and like kind of allowed them to be mean to her kids. And I mean, I don't know. I've never been in this situation. I don't know her life. I don't know if she hasn't always had the support of her father. If things, I don't know. Right. But I was like, damn, Chelsea, you let these men come into your home and boss your fucking kids around. That's
steal
wild.
money from her, you know, like, you know, they did horrible shit to her, you know, like, yeah, I know. And it makes sense why her dad is just like, oh, another fucking asshole from prison. Good job, Chelsea.
Yeah.
Oh, can't wait to meet him. Can't wait, Chelsea.
Yeah.
You know, like the way the daughter reacts to it, you know, like Mikey is different than what I thought, you know, but I just don't want to move in. And I'm like, yeah, no one should be moving in right away. Like, this is at some point, Chelsea should just be like, this is my kid's home and no one lives here right now.
No one lives there ever. Like, I didn't think the men lived there. And then Chelsea says she's never been on a date. And again, Chelsea is fucking in her 40s. And I'm not saying that like she's to blame for never having been on a date. But like, were these relationships 10 years ago and she's then just been single ever since then? Like, I guess I just, it's like, has she learned, or has she then been clean, not had these people in her house for 10 years? Like, I would hope so. I'd hope that she's learned from that. It just makes me sad that her kids have had this existence where they're kind of traumatized from it.
I
And,
know.
it just makes me sad for them. But they seem pretty cool. And her oldest son is like getting in trouble with the police already. And she had to go to court for him. And
He, like, tried to get something out of a vending machine. Like, he tried to, like, steal out of vending machines, and that's why he got in. But, like, this scene's crazy. What do you think of this scene? So, basically, to get there after so the kids meet Mikey, everything's chill. They eat fried chicken. The fried chicken looks good. They show him the house and the rooms, and he's like, like, bonding with the youngest son, like, "This room's cool, buddy. Like, I'd have this room cool too, and the room is cool, and the next day some of the kids are sick and he wants again to take her on a date, which is what Wah said. The date is horseback riding, because she's into horseback riding and he doesn't want to, or he's like whatever. And so at first she's like, "Oh, my kids are sick, but again I'll go because I never went on a date before." So they're on the way there, and suddenly she gets a phone call from her child lawyer that, where are they? Like, why are they not at the courthouse? Her and her son. And she's like, "What? Why?" And he's like, "Oh, it's because this is a day of the risk assessment." And she like didn't know about it. She's like, "Why wasn't a letter sent to me?" And I was like, "A letter? Like, why wasn't this a phone? Like like, I mean, yeah, I mean, like, why is this in the iCal? Because of like many different phone calls and emails you got. And like, if I had to be on top of my child's like case like this, so suddenly they have to like turn around and go to the courthouse, and she's there and she thinks she's gonna be arrested. I was like, "You're not gonna be arrested." And I was like, "Is this real, or are they just literally being like, hey, just pull over to this parking lot and make sure, and like we'll get the front as a B-roll because it's public property, and pretend it's a thing." Like, what's happening there, Wah?
I mean, I don't know at all, but he's annoyed. And
Yeah.
and
So am
like,
I. So am
yeah,
I.
he's annoyed. He's very annoyed about it. And yeah, the kid is sick and she's like, "I'll tell them he's sick." And I'm like, "This is real life. You can't just be telling people you're sick. Put a fucking mask on him, get his ass out of bed and take him to this is not school." So I'm like, it's so funny. Like, my dad made me go places all the time when I was sick. Well, I mean, I had really bad bronchitis. So if I was like couldn't get out of bed sick, then I didn't. But like, my parents weren't like, "Oh, they're sick." My parents went to work. I went to the babysitter sick. Like, things, it's so interesting, like how the she's a very different parent than I had. Especially if I had committed a crime. Oh, get your ass up. You committed the crime, you're doing the time. Get up. Get up. I'm going back home. Get out of bed. We're going to be late. Let's go. Like, calling that kid, turning around, going in and getting them, and like doing whatever. So there's always drama, he says, with her. I don't know if he's acting for the TV because they seem pretty happy right now, or maybe he's just happy with the fame he has from this. Like, whoever thought about coming out of prison and all of a sudden becoming kind of a star? You know, like, all these people
That's
have like this extra money they never thought they would ever have from social media from this show.
You're absolutely right. I mean, there must be no higher want than to get on this show. Like, if I was in lockup right now, I would be all over sites with the hottest pictures possible of me trying to get people I think would be great TV characters, knowing that I can A, finesse them for money, and B, immediately apply to be on the show every season until I can get out and then be like, "Oh, this is the American dream. I've been taking notes." I mean, that's what I would do. Um, but just so you know, and having said that, Kevin
Oh,
from Love
my
After
Kevin?
Lockup,
My Kevin?
yes, yes,
Oh.
Kevin's brother. Now you might know Kevin as I'm gonna knock your pussy ass out. That's the
Mm-hmm.
Kevin we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin's brother is in prison, and he posted, please write to my brother. And I think, listen, if you find Kevin attractive, I think you should really, really look into his brother. Now, is there a couple of tattoos? Yes. This is what the post says. For all our friends and family, please reach out to my brother. He would like some letters and pictures and new friends. Wow.
Is it
His
no?
his
Are
info,
they?
and I'm not done reading yet. I'm not done for your, you have to listen to all of this. His info and address is on the last picture. Much love and respect. Okay, so if you're on Patreon, if you follow us on Twitter, and on Instagram, we are Docu Sweeties, and I'll put this on Twitter because now that I said this, I've already posted this. I've already posted all of this so that you could really go into what you might want to do in your holiday extra time. Listen, some
Oh, they must
people.
share a dad, not the mom, right? Because that would be so sad for the mom. Yeah, they share a dad. They share a dad. That's not the mom's kid. Poor mom. Break her heart.
So, anyways, that man is honey. He's in there, and he needs some love.
He's thick.
And he is thick. Yeah, he is thick. And have you been naughty? Have you been nice this year, Wah?
I have been naughty.
Oh no.
Yeah. I know. I have.
Oh wow.
I have.
Are you gonna get a lump of coal this Christmas?
Well, I don't have a fireplace, so nor a stocking, so I'm
We
gonna not
talked
even get
about
a
it.
lump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've come to an end. But however, have you enjoyed this?
You have.
If you have, please give us 5 stars. And if you want to, please join us on all the social medias. We are at DocuSweeties on Instagram, at DocuSweeties on TikTok, at DocuSweeties1 on X/Twitter. We have a Facebook group. It's the DocuSweeties Podcast Facebook group. And, we're also real fun to look at. We show pictures. We take long breaks. And if you wonder why, it's because we're staring at each other, and you can see it all on our Patreon. Wow, how?
You can do so with patreon.com/DocuSweeties for only $10 a month. You get a live every first Monday of the month, as well as other exclusive content. So please join us if you have it. And if you don't, go with Chris's options. We really appreciate your support on TikTok as well. I'm trying to build that up there. But we'll talk to you guys later. We hope you had a good turkey holiday. Bye.